Today on Studio One, vaccinations early in life have helped keep many children healthy, but now some are concerned that kids could soon be put at risk. Also, there are many people who wish they could get on a dance floor and know what to do next. We'll talk to a couple who have transformed thousands of people with 2 left feet into confident dancers. And you have to have a good ear to tune a piano. We'll spend a day in the life of someone who has mastered the art of making a piano sound like a piano should.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hello everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Jenna Len. Well, flowers are used for a lot of special occasions.
Oh yeah.
Such as birthdays,
Presents.
Anniversaries,
Yeah,
decorative.
Mother's Day is a big one.
Right. And today, a lot of people like to give flowers, but they sometimes don't know what kind of flower arrangement they should give, and they want to add their own personal touch. Well, today we have a florist on the show, and she's going to tell us how we can make these at home.
Excellent. Is she going to show us?
Yes.
She's going to show
she
you?
is. Yes.
All right.
And then I'll give you some flowers.
Excellent. All right, well, let's go on to the show. There is an urgent need for more family physicians, and in a few years, there will be an even greater demand for these doctors. We'll tell you how some are trying to combat the problem.
Also, most of us find it interesting to learn about how previous generations of our family lived their lives. An ethical will coach will tell you how you can leave a special document for future generations.
But first, here's today's news with Virginia Sticka.
Thanks, Monty and Jenna. The U.S. military says it's time to reevaluate its strategy in dealing with violence in Baghdad. A spokesman for the multinational force in Iraq says the situation has gotten worse in the capital city and in other areas of the country. On the same day of the announcement, at least 33 people were killed in bombings across Iraq. In Kirkuk, a car bomb killed 11 people and wounded 40 others. The bomb went off as members of an Iraqi patrol were collecting their paychecks. The military says its current plan has not worked as well as it had hoped.
We are working very closely with the government of Iraq to determine how to best to refocus our efforts.
Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice met with the South Korean foreign minister Thursday to urge the nation to stand firm on sanctions against North Korea. The UN Security Council unanimously passed sanctions against North Korea in response to its nuclear test. In the past, South Korea has been reluctant to do anything that would upset North Korea. Some people drink alcohol for the sole purpose of getting drunk. Now a machine lets that happen faster, and some states are bringing it to a stop. Alcohol without liquid, or AWOL, has been banned in 17 states. The device vaporizes alcohol into a mist. The user then inhales the mist through a tube for 20 minutes. This unusual way to consume alcohol gives the user an intoxication that is more intense than normal. However, the inhaler also comes with health risks.
There's actually a very high risk for brain damage because it's bypassing your liver and your kidneys, which normally filter the alcohol, and it's going directly into your blood.
Many states are trying to stay ahead of this dangerous trend by banning the inhalers before they become a problem. Experts say AWOL also has a high potential for abuse and addiction. A drug banned in the 60s is now being looked at as a treatment for alcoholism. LSD was the drug choice for many people 3 decades ago. A researcher from the University of Alberta says studies done 30 years ago where LSD was used to treat alcoholism may have merit. She interviewed some of the patients involved in the original study, and many have not had a sip of alcohol since their single LSD dose. The researcher thinks the study needs to be explored further, and the study done in the 60s was met with skepticism from other researchers. Most people would agree that children are our future, but some are concerned that that future could have trouble staying healthy.
Look up at the fish, look up at the fish.
This has been a common sight since vaccines started to be used widely in the 1960s, a child getting a shot. They have contributed to virtually wiping out diseases such as polio, measles, and smallpox. However, there are new developments that might make it harder for the children to get the shots they need.
What we're experiencing is a decrease in federal funding and an increase in the number of vaccines that children get.
States like North Dakota are now trying to figure out how to deal with the problem. Professionals from the medical industry are gathering to discuss ways to make sure children get the shots they need. Meanwhile, the price to get these children immunized is quickly rising.
we've seen an increase in the cost to vaccinate a child over 400 to 500%.
This is a major problem for North Dakota, which has prided itself on getting its children vaccinated.
North Dakota, as you can see, is above the national average for children at that age.
North Dakota is also special because it is one of 11 states that provides its children with most of the vaccines they need.
What we're doing right now with the funding levels that we have is what we call Universal Select, where we are providing many of the vaccines for the children in the state.
There are many reasons to make sure that children get vaccinated. However, to Dwelly, there is only one.
We are a team. We mean that from our hearts. And we need to strategize together as North Dakotans for the good of the children.
And he hopes that people all over the country can see how important it is for children to be fully vaccinated. Reporting for Studio One News, this is Kenneth Seiden.
There will be 4 more forums across North Dakota. Health officials hope to have a plan completed at the final forum in the capital of Bismarck. And that's the news for now. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Virginia. Well, seeing all those kids get those shots reminds me of flu season.
Which is around the corner because it's winter almost coming up here.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the weather station and Rob will tell us more if winter is coming or not.
Well, thanks, Monty and Jenna. Many areas across the U.S. have seen a wide variety of weather, from heavy snow in the northeast to heavy rains down in the south. But for us, we're seeing basically right around average conditions. 53 is our average high in Grand Forks, 55 in Minneapolis, and 9 degrees Celsius in Winnipeg. Across the nation, though, in the northwest, your average high in the upper 50s across most of the nation, though, and down into the lower 60s and down to the southwest near Los Angeles, your average high is right around the upper 70s. I was talking about that heavy snow and lake effect snow that the northeast has been experiencing, and lake effect snow is actually caused by cold and dry conditions that are associated with systems that come out of Canada and cross over the Great Lakes, which are warmer, the water temperature is a little bit warmer, and down on the downwind side of the lake is where you're generally going to see the lake effect snow, and Buffalo is one of those areas that sees a lot of this lake effect snow. Recently, they actually saw 20 inches of snow, and actually another thing that's associated with lake effect snow is what we call fetch, and fetch is something that has to do with wind and wind direction. If you have wind coming across here with Lake Erie, if you have it coming out of the north or south, it doesn't have as much time or as much preparedness to absorb any of the moisture or the water out of the lake, and therefore won't have as much snow. But for Buffalo, if you have wind coming out of the west, you will generally have, or the systems will generally have a lot more time to absorb all that moisture, just suck it out of the lake like a straw. And generally, Buffalo is one of those areas that ends up getting hit with a lot of snow. And since the lake temperatures are a lot warmer than the air temperatures are right now, you get a lot of that heat rising, the moisture rising in with it. And the systems just build and build and build. And Buffalo, again, is one of those areas that does get hit. Now, we generally see drier and colder conditions with those lake effect snow areas, and indeed across the Great Lakes in the northeast we are seeing those colder conditions, and across the southwest in the California areas where we're going to see the chance for the warmer conditions throughout the next week, and best chance for wetter or drier conditions. Best chance for precipitation is then through the Great Lakes and down to the south, drier conditions into the northwest. And we're also going to be, or what causes black ice is a question we're going to ask you this week. You have a few answers there, ranging from A, car exhaust, freezing drizzle, fog, or drifting snow. So Monty and Jenna will have the answer to that question. I'll look at some flooding down in Texas and a story coming up on ice or bridge icing later on the show.
All right, thanks, Rob. I think a lot of people have a misconception about what black ice is.
Yeah, and it's tricky. I think I know the answer, but I'm not going to say.
I think I do too.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go now to sports, and Nick Johnson has the news there.
Thank you, Monty and Jenna. The Detroit Tigers have been waiting almost a week to see who their opponent will be in the World Series. The reason why is the dogfight over in the National League. The Cardinals would look to end it Wednesday, bringing their 3-2 series lead into New York. But first, they would have to get past rookie pitcher John Maine. He's in some trouble early on in the top of the first with the bases loaded, but he gets Scott Rowland to fly out to right field, ending the early threat from the Cardinals. As for the Cards, they put the National League's reigning Cy Young winner Chris Carpenter on the mound, facing leadoff batter Jose Reyes, who takes the third pitch of the game and hits it out of the park. His first home run of the postseason. Mets go up 1-0. Now on the top of the third with runners on the corners. Maine gets one and Carcione with the fastball. He goes 5 strong and allows no runs. Bottom 4, Sean Green's going to go to left, and David Eckstein wishes he were just a little bit taller. This one will roll into left, and Carlos Beltran will come around to score, putting the Mets up 2-0. Top 5, Albert Pujols up, Albert Pujols down. Maine with 5 Ks in the game, leading to Billy Wagner, who will close it out in the 9th. With 2 outs and a man on, Eckstein grounds out to second. And the most exciting words in sports, Game 7. It's going to happen, and that will decide who's going to go to the World Series. Indoor rock climbing may look risky to spectators. However, studies have shown that it is actually safer than most sports. Researchers from several German universities looked at the injury rates from the 2005 World Championships in Munich. Their study concluded that indoor rock climbing has a low risk of injury and is 10 times safer than soccer. One reason may be that indoor rock walls have a variety of surfaces and levels of difficulty for climbers to choose from. Many indoor rock walls have been built since the first one in 1964.
With rock climbing, you get the same physical activity, but you're doing stuff at the same time. It's just like going out and playing basketball, except for it's more exotic. You're climbing on a rock wall.
As a safety precaution, climbers are tied into a harness and are encouraged to go up in pairs. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question, and it is which team has had the most Heisman Trophy winners since it began in 1935? And we'll have the answer to that later on in the show. And that's the sports. Monty and Jenna.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Marie Antoinette ruled France in the 18th century. Later, we'll preview a film that tells the story of the young queen through a modern perspective.
Also, writing ethical wills is an old tradition. Even though it has been done for years, many people today have no idea what it is or how to write one. We'll explain how you can leave behind your own legacy.
Need to plan an entire conference? Want to provide your employees with professional training and development? The Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota provides quality programs and services for career enhancement. Whether you want to attend educator workshops or need a certificate for your profession, the Division of Continuing Education can help you achieve success. Contact the Division of Continuing Education today and let us meet your professional needs.
George Bull and his partners found value in farina, the whitest part of wheat, and created cream of wheat. Patrick Haggerty founded Texas Instruments and helped it become one of the nation's high-tech giants. Raymond Rood is responsible for the modern diving board. His diving boards have been used in every Olympic competition since 1960. Chris Moen and Marlene Schott launched their food company through the UND Entrepreneurship Program. Will yours be next?
The University of North Dakota Foundation prepares students for the future. Through technology and scholarship contributions and other types of support, the UND Foundation can give students an outstanding educational experience. Help continue the traditions of academic and athletic excellence. Make a difference at the University of North Dakota by donating to the UND Foundation.
The University of North Dakota Graduate School offers unique opportunities for students who love to keep their eyes on the skies. Atmospheric science students are using advanced radar to see what's happening deep inside the clouds. Students and professors in our Space Studies program are helping to shape the future of interplanetary travel. Major projects include designing and testing a spacesuit for the mission to Mars. Reach for the skies and beyond with a graduate degree from the University of North Dakota.
There's a place where American Indian culture is celebrated, where helping others is a priority and encouragement is abundant. At American Indian Student Services, our goal is retention and graduation of American Indian students. The American Indian Center is a home away from home, where students can find state-of-the-art technology and a friendly face willing to help. Contact American Indian Student Services at 1-800-CALL-UND.
You're watching Studio One, twice named the best college television show in the nation by the National Association of College Broadcasters.
A document that divides up your assets is called a legal will. Although important, a different kind of will can be as beneficial. Ethical will coach Faith Finney is here to tell us what an ethical will is and why writing one is so important. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Tell us in a nutshell what an ethical will is.
Well, I guess to start with, I'm not very crazy about the name Ethical Will because I don't feel like it really describes it. But what it is a document that you write, and it can be about yourself, so that your family will know the things that are most important about you, or it can be about them and how much you love them and how much you appreciate them. And so it can be a page, or it can be a book.
And now you said you have a little bit of issue with the name Ethical Will. Why does it say ethical?
Well, it's been around for actually since biblical times, and so someplace along the line, many, many, many years ago, it was named that, and it probably at the time it made more sense. Early ethical wills were a lot about religion and the religious practices of a family, and they've changed over the years, so they're really not necessarily about religion or ethics. But they can be about a variety of things. Like you talked about, the legal will is for your material goods, but an ethical will is about just about you and your relationship with the people that you love.
Okay, well, what are some of the things that you would put in an ethical will?
Well, like I said, I think it's very important to, I was a counselor before I retired, and I worked with a lot of people that were grieving, and particularly when there's a sudden loss. It's very painful. There's no closure, there's nothing. And so when I heard about the ethical will, it really struck me because I thought, what a gift. So it kind of depends on your own reason for writing one. All of us think we're going to live forever, so it's kind of a hard thing to think about. But I believe that everyone should write one, even young people, because none of us ever really know. And if something happened quickly, your family would always have that document to know that you loved them and you were proud of them, and things about them, and then things about you that they may not have known.
Well, when should you start thinking about writing an ethical will?
Well, I think it would be a good idea if everybody went home today and wrote something, even just a paragraph. It would be a place to start. I think that, like I said, young people even, it would be nice to have something in writing.
What are some things that you would suggest to include or not include right from the beginning?
Well, I would include, and that again, it depends on the individual, but things that are important in your life that you want to be remembered for. Maybe your children already know a lot of things, but maybe your grandchildren don't, or maybe many years later, people will have somewhat of a picture of what was important to you, what you were like. So that might be part of it, and the other would be, again, like how you appreciate them. And so it's about you and it's about them. And the things I would not include would be anything that would be mean-spirited. It's not a place where you would
maybe tell a relative to shape up, that sort of thing?
Exactly, yeah. It's not a thing, it's not a document that you want to have any possibility of causing any hard feelings.
What about, some people keep a journal. Is that good enough? Is that like the same thing as an ethical will, a journal?
A journal is usually done for your own good. It's used for whatever reason. Some people use it to process their feelings. Some people use it just to document events. But it's more for yourself. The ethical will is something that you do for others. Okay.
What about how often should you update something like this? Is it something you should try and do often?
It's kind of a work in progress in some cases. You can start it, and I think, like I said, I'd like to have everybody go home today and write a brief ethical will. If you put it on your computer, you can change it. Maybe 6 months from now, you'll look at it and think, oh, well, I really needed to add this. Or some people, it depends on where you are in your life. If you get started writing about things, sometimes it really gets you going to think about way back. And I know people have started writing an ethical will and ended up writing a memoir. Wow. And all of it maybe wouldn't be considered ethical will, but it's only limited by your time and your creativity and what you'd like to accomplish.
I assume you have an ethical will? Mm-hmm. Okay. What have you learned through the process of writing with this personally?
Well, I've learned that if I want to be the person that I'm writing that I think I am, it keeps me on my toes. Because if you're right that it's important to be courageous, maybe, or that honesty is a big thing, or the environmental issues are your thing, then you need to, every time you write something, you need to think, I need to remember that every day myself. Sure. So I think it makes a person a better person, just because, and also, I mean, especially if you write a long one that gets very involved, it makes you really assess your own life, and it can be a really wonderful thing for the person that's doing it, for their own self-discovery.
Sure. While you're still alive.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show today, Faith. It's a very interesting subject.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Coming up, many people have their own flower garden and would like to make more use out of it. One woman will tell us how to create flower bouquets and arrangements of their own. Also, the ability to play beautiful music is often called a gift. Next, we'll meet a man whose gift makes him especially good at helping others create great harmony.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
Earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through online lectures and condensed on-campus laboratories.
It's convenient, it's flexible, and it's a quality education.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Wall Street has come to the prairie through the A. Kirk Lanterman Investment Center at the University of North Dakota. This state-of-the-art facility in the College of Business and Public Administration provides hands-on experience in the world of modern finance. Students learn how financial markets react with lightning quickness to world events. They use cutting-edge technology and real-time data from more than 200 financial markets around the world. The Lanterman Investment Center provides the tools to make a career out of an education.
Let the University of North Dakota become your partner by providing your business with services to enhance your workforce. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience conducting employee satisfaction research, strategic planning, focus groups, and grant development. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Marriage can be the scariest step in anyone's life. In the movie Marie Antoinette, one girl is forced into an arranged marriage of conspiracy and deceit. Kirsten Dunst plays Marie Antoinette, a young girl forced to marry a complete stranger in order to bring harmony to two nations. She seeks refuge by having an affair with a Swedish count and spends enormous amounts of money. As she matures, she realizes her place as queen, but it's too late to win the hearts of her subjects. Dunst says that she enjoyed working on the set because it was at the real location of Versailles.
Character in itself, and to be able to shoot where they really, got married, where she really performed on her little stage and in her mini opera house.
The director says the costumes were the central part of the film's design. She added they were slightly modernized. Marie Antoinette opens October 20th. Now it's time to look at the events happening in your area. In order to make sure a song sounds right, everything needs to be in perfect pitch. Today we spend a day in the life of a professional tuner.
An out-of-tune piano is like a bird that can't sing. Andrew McCloud has a special ear.
Well, I think he has a genuine interest in music, and he's very passionate about what he does.
Andrew persists until he hits that perfect note.
Okay, now this tells me something, that this F is wrong.
Andrew's traditional tools include a pitchfork, hammer, and strip mute. These devices help him tune, but his most trusted tools are his ears.
Well, I have some sight, but not usable to read like regular print like you.
Andrew was born without sight. Today, Andrew can tune a piano in an hour and a half. Back when he was first learning, it took him a little longer.
My first piano took me 2 school days to tune, and it wasn't very good, and it didn't stay in tune.
Andrew has tuned so many pianos that he makes it sound simple.
Each note has to be slightly out of tune with the other in order for the piano to sound right.
Andrew says it takes more than a good ear to tune the ivories.
I would recommend they either get in with somebody who really knows what they're doing or go to a good school and invest 2 years of their life, because that's the only way you're really going to learn to do it right.
Even though Andrew can't see, he has no trouble finding a piano's perfect tune. With photographer Eric Fleischacker, I'm Kelly Corbo reporting for Studio One.
Andrew says a piano needs to be tuned once a year, if not twice. This is true even if it sounds in tune. Coming up, it's fun to watch the smooth steps of a couple that knows their way around a dance floor. In our Studio One Spotlight, we'll glide alongside a couple that has passed on their skills to many others. That story plus news, sports, and weather in the next half hour of Studio One.
Miss, come on. My tuition. It is very cute, very cuddly. I can give you 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Bad idea.
How about 3 for 1?
That's a really bad business idea.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND has a long history of preparing students for successful careers. Through small classes and faculty involvement, students have unique opportunities to gain hands-on experience. Here, students launch a weather balloon to test a remote imaging device destined for Earth orbit. Students can also become involved in wind energy and fuel cell projects, design, build, and race a Formula One car, or even develop a camera that will generate agricultural images from the International Space Station. Find out for yourself how you can get involved at UND School of Engineering and Mines.
Do you need a flexible way to earn your degree? The University of North Dakota's Degrees After Hours program is designed to work around your full-time schedule. Whether you've got a family, a full-time job, or both, the Degrees After Hours program offers you flexible alternatives. You can earn a degree or take courses online through video conferencing and in the evenings or on weekends. UND's Degrees After Hours program fits your needs, your schedule, and your goals. Contact UND today.
This can happen.
Excuse me, can I get a ride?
What?
My car broke down. Can I get a ride?
No, I can't help you.
Look, it's just a ride.
No, step back.
Get in the car!
No!
Women can defend themselves. To learn more about Impact U or to enroll in a class, call the UND Women's Center.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One.
Thanks for joining us today. Well, there's a school in New York that is starting to hand out detentions, and more than just to the students. They're actually giving the parents detention for bringing in the students late to class.
So that's going to make them late
That's
for
right.
work. So they get punished at work too.
2 people get punished. So we wanted to know what people thought about that. Their answers are coming up. Also in the next 30 minutes of Studio One, many people rely on a family doctor for their medical care. We'll tell you why it's becoming harder for some people to see a family physician.
Also, dancing is a great way to exercise and learn to be in sync with someone else. We'll share the advice of a couple who have been teaching dance steps for almost 50 years.
And flower arrangements are used and given for many special occasions. However, they can be expensive. One floral design expert will share how you can create your own designs. But first, here's today's news with Virginia Sticka.
Thanks, Monty and Jenna. Gas prices could be on the rise again soon. OPEC ministers are meeting to finalize the first cut in oil production since 2004. OPEC produces more than 1/3 of all oil shipped around the world. It is hoping to increase demand for oil by cutting the number of barrels the organization produces by 1 million per day. Oil prices have dropped to $58 a barrel, which is a near record low for 2006. Only a month and a half after crocodile hunter Steve Irwin died from a fatal stab to the heart by a stingray, yet another attack has been reported. 81-year-old James Burticus was stung in the heart when a stingray flopped onto his boat Wednesday. Burticus was apparently trying to get the 3-foot-wide stingray off his boat when it stung him. Although doctors were able to remove the barb from his chest, Burticus remains in critical condition. Eating healthy foods can be a challenge for students, especially with vending machines full of candy bars around every corner. But a new initiative in schools may help to change that. Bill Clinton, working for the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, has struck a deal with 5 big makers of snack foods. These companies voluntarily agree to promote snacks in schools that meet American Heart Association guidelines. These snacks would have no more than 35% calories from fat and 35% sugar content by weight. The hope is that kids will make better choices.
The diseases long term that are associated with obesity and overweight are such chronic lifelong diseases for them to have to deal with. I really hope to see a decrease in some of that.
Doctors say that childhood obesity can lead to diabetes, asthma, and heart conditions. Most people prone to allergies keep their homes pet-free, but now research shows that pets could have a protective effect on the immune system. Children who are exposed to pets early in life are less likely to develop allergies and asthma. Researchers at Bergen University in Norway found that pet owners have a lower risk of allergies than non-pet owners. However, doctors do not recommend that parents buy pets for those children who already have allergies. They say this will make the situation worse. No matter what age or race, primary health care is a concern for all. However, being able to find a readily available family doctor may be a problem in the future.
As the population grows and baby boomers are nearing retirement, more Americans have an increased need for primary care. Even though the number of licensed family doctors is growing slightly, there is still a great need. A new study has shown that the U.S. will require even more family physicians in the future.
Between now and the year 2020, there are significant needs and shortages of family physicians that will be prevalent at that time.
Some medical experts say this shortage is because many students choose to become specialists rather than going into family practice. The University of North Dakota Medical School in Grand Forks, North Dakota, is home to one program that is working to help ease the shortage. One way the university encourages students is by giving them actual experience with primary care doctors.
Having them interact with family physicians that are out practicing gives them an opportunity to see what that lifestyle is like.
And Mandy Johnson is just one example of a student getting this hands-on experience.
So right now I'm working in family medicine with Dr. Svedjan. So I see clinic patients with her during the day, and I follow with her hospital patients as well.
Despite discouraging factors like a lower salary and a busy schedule, many students are still excited about primary care.
So you have the opportunity to really get to know your patients. And I think that improves medical care.
And if more students with that attitude go into the field, the future of primary health care could look a bit brighter. With photographer Jørgen Johansson, I'm Ashley Porcher, reporting for Studio One.
During the next 14 years, it's expected that the number of family doctors must grow by nearly 40%. And that's the news for now. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Virginia. Well, in our part of the country, we're starting to move into the transition time where rain and snow kind of mix together. Phase. But down south, they've been getting wet with
they
rain.
even got flooded. And Rob is actually going to tell us more about that, give us some more information about the flood in the south.
Well, thanks, Monty and Jenna. A lot of areas across the south, through Texas, through Louisiana, saw a lot of rain from a storm that just would not go away. They saw up to 10 inches of rain in the Houston-Galveston area. They had heavy thunderstorms that brought torrential rains, flash flooding, and even some tornadoes in southeast Texas and parts of Louisiana. It had flooded streets and homes, and to save people, emergency services had to get around by boat. That water was so deep in some areas. For some people, though, the only way to get around was with jacked up vehicles that could make it over the high waters. You can see that Camaro there driving through the water, leaving the gas station. And the affected area here was, again, from Texas to Louisiana. And
again included Houston. Many areas across this area saw several inches of rain, and those tornadoes were located right here in eastern Texas and western Louisiana here. But back up north, ice anglers and hockey players enjoy the time of the year when lakes begin to freeze. However, ice is not as warmly welcomed when it appears in other places.
Colder temperatures and shorter days mark the end of the severe weather season. This also ushers in the pleasant sight of fresh snow from above. Along with the same sight comes a familiar danger from below.
The bridges have air moving underneath them, therefore the bridges will maintain a temperature that's closer to the actual air temperature. So if the air temperatures are below freezing, then the bridges will most always stay below freezing as well.
Ice can be on bridges at any time of the day. Even though the sun helps to melt the ice, there is another factor to consider.
If you have a storm go through, that's where you're going to be more likely to see the ice develop on the roads or bridges, or shortly thereafter.
You might not see ice on the roads, but it may be lurking on bridges. Approach them with caution. Drive slowly and don't make sharp turns. If you start to skid, let your car come to a complete stop before trying to recover. With photographer Matt Benz, I'm Stephen Doyle, reporting for Studio One Weather.
States like Minnesota, North Dakota, and Michigan have begun using automatic de-ice units to reduce the number of accidents on ice-covered bridges. Well, we asked you earlier, what causes black ice? And your answer is A, car exhaust, and this usually happens when you're sitting at stoplights or stop signs with water condensing in the exhaust system, dropping down onto the pavement and freezing. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Rob. It can be very fatal.
Yes, not a good thing, especially at intersections like Rob said, where a lot of cars are stopped and they leave their exhaust.
Yeah, it'd be like a big pileup.
Not good. All right, well, let's go to something that's a little better, would be sports. And Nick Johnson has news there.
Thank you, Monty and Jenna. Sports injuries are common, especially in an intense physical game like college hockey. Unfortunately for some athletes, these injuries can be severe.
Robbie Bina is lucky to be playing hockey. It was just 18 months ago when he suffered a neck injury after being checked from behind and went headfirst into the boards. Although the accident was scary, Bina considers himself to be one fortunate man, especially regarding the severity of his injury.
He has a crushed C7 vertebrae, so they had to take that out and fuse the C6 and the T1 together to stabilize that. And the bone fragments were actually just very close to severing my spinal cord to make me paralyzed.
His quick recovery has left his teammates at the University of North Dakota in awe.
A lot of willpower right there. I mean, he's one of those guys that he wanted to get back, he wanted to get better, and he did everything possible to get back as fast as he could.
Now that Robbie has recovered, his eyes are on the future.
I'm putting it all behind me now, just ready to play again and just not even to worry about it anymore.
That attitude has impressed everyone.
Well, I just have an unbelievable amount of respect for Robbie. The way he handled the whole situation over the past 18 months, he never once did he, come across with a negative attitude at all.
The team is taking away everything they can from this whole ordeal.
It's great. A lot of guys really don't realize that every shift could be their last, and Bina kind of proved that to us, and it's just a miracle to have him back, and we're very excited to see him step on the ice.
But there's probably no one more excited than Bina himself.
I feel very fortunate, even just to be able to recover from it, and could have been a lot worse.
And with his return, Robbie Bina has been given a second chance at the game he loves. This is Peter Storter reporting for Studio One Sports.
Bina's injury occurred in St. Paul during the WCHA Final Five semifinals. The Fighting Sioux were playing the Denver Pioneers. Now the answer to this week's Studio One Sports Trivia question, which team has had the most Heisman Trophy winners since 1935? And the answer is A, Notre Dame, who hasn't had a winner since 1987 when Tim Brown won it. And that's the sports. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Nick. With Halloween approaching, many people are looking for a good scare. Boo! Did I get you? All right. Well, we're going to show you how one farmstead in Minnesota frightens visitors with a spooky maze.
Also, a night on the town often involves the opportunity to dance. In our Studio One Spotlight, we'll introduce you to a couple who pass on the secrets to smooth success on the dance floor.
When you graduate from college, what will you be able to offer an employer?
Well, I'm a really good people person.
I really love working with people.
I'm very, very motivated.
I'm a great people person.
I am really motivated.
Offer an employer something more. At the University of North Dakota Career Services Center, we can help you get the competitive edge you need. Stop in or check us out, UND Career Services, empowering students to realize their dreams.
Did I mention I'm great with people?
This can happen.
Excuse me, can I get a ride?
What?
My car broke down. Can I get a ride?
No, I can't help you.
Look, it's just a ride.
No, step back.
Get in the car!
No!
Women can defend themselves. To learn more about Impact U or to enroll in a class, call the UND Women's Center.
Let the University of North Dakota become your partner by providing your business with services to enhance your workforce. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience conducting employee satisfaction research, strategic planning, focus groups, and grant development. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
With Halloween soon approaching, many people are looking for a fun way to frighten themselves. We decided to join in on the excitement and see what it's like to visit a haunted corn maze.
On this cool, foggy October night, a haunted corn maze is open for exploration. At first, this farm may seem innocent with its warm bonfire and farm animals. Deb Livedall runs this corn maze. She knows the formula for a good scare.
Following the people closely behind them, that's another scare one. I mean, somebody following you is scary.
We decided to follow closely behind Tanner Schoenfelder and his friends on their venture into the unknown. After Tanner completed the maze, he was pretty composed.
Not really scared, but the house I got pretty scared in.
When we followed him, though, we saw a different side of Tanner. Here are some tips we learned from Tanner and his crew when walking through a haunted maze. First, when faced with danger, stand tall and be brave. Walking in the dark may cause you to feel jumpy. It's all right to hold hands. And last but most important,
don't be scared. Do not be scared.
The squeals of terror are an indication that these thrill seekers are getting their money's worth. And if this line is any indication, there are many more screams to be heard.
It's just awesome. I just love doing it. I like to see people have fun.
Oh, and one more tip. Always expect the unexpected. In a haunted corn maze south of Moorhead, Minnesota, with photographer Patrick Wynn, I'm Shannon Dahl reporting for Studio One.
Every year, the Livedall family outlines a special design for the corn maze. This year, they chose to design a witch with the year 2006 into their field. A public school in New York has recently made a decision intended to decrease student tardiness. The school is doing more than punishing students for being late. They now also make parents serve detention for getting kids there after the bell rings. We wanted your thoughts on the issue.
Well, good. Let the parents sit with kids and serve detention, and maybe kids will start getting to school on time. Parents will know what their kids are doing, that they are getting there on time.
I think it's crazy. Sometimes traffic's late, kids are late, you got things going on. Kids have to make doctor's appointments. You shouldn't hold the kids accountable or the parents accountable for kids being late.
I'm consistently late for things myself, so I do think it's a good idea.
Good luck trying to implement that, because I'm sure the parents will protest, and I mean, they're the ones sending their kids to school.
In a way, it's a good idea, because when the children are younger, it is the responsibility of the parent to get the children there on time, because at the younger ages, the children aren't capable.
Most people love to dance. In our Studio One Spotlight, we highlight a couple who found that dancing has brought them closer to others as well as each other.
It's the dimmed lights, the music, and a dramatic turn that have onlookers saying, "Oh, I wish I could do that." Tonight, this couple, Bill and Barb Fahey, are teaching their students how to make the moves look just as effortless.
It's going to be tough.
But Bill gives credit to the ladies in this class.
Most girls can dance, men can't. And we're supposed to know what to do, and all at once we're thrown into this condition that we're supposed to get out there and lead our lady friend along. And so we get out there and we go, oh my Lord, what happens now?
I don't get it. Not right off the bat. She gets it.
When we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we're getting it.
We laugh a lot.
Bill and Barb say that they get excited about the class when their students are intent on learning new moves.
The more enthusiastic they are and the more fun it is because they react and let us know if they're having fun or not.
And Bill and Barb have worked with a whole lot of left feet.
Well, we figure roughly 20,000 people we've taught.
It was actually Barb's idea to start teaching the dance class.
She met me at the door and she said, guess what? Because she used to talk that way. She said, we're going to teach ballroom dancing in the adult ed program.
We thought we'd get through a session or a season, and that would probably be the end of it.
Now Bill and Barb have so many memories to think back on. About a half a century worth.
We started dancing when we started dating, and that was...
a long time ago.
Yeah. 46 years we were married. We went together 6 years before we got married, so you might say 52 years.
Bill says that they've become recognized for their dancing ability.
We've had people come up to us in Disneyland and say, hi, we were in your dance class.
This dancing duo had some unforgettable trainers themselves.
See, we're self-taught. We've never had lessons.
Dancing has come to mean more to the Faheys than just steps, turns, and rhythm. In fact, through dancing, they've taught each other life lessons.
I learned when to be quiet. And we've learned patience, I think, with everybody and each other too. So
it's been good for the marriage too. You know, without her, I feel like maybe I should just not be there.
And even though these couples have a perfect ending to a song, this duet isn't planning on stopping anytime soon.
Bill and Barb have taught all over the eastern side of North Dakota. Their largest class was in Chicago with more than 100 students. Flowers are given to signify appreciation, love, and sympathy. Making your own arrangement for someone can also add a more thoughtful touch. Our next guest shows us the beginning steps to designing our own colorful creations.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by University of North Dakota Student Government.
The College of Business and Public Administration at the University of North Dakota is proud to announce the Page Family Marketing Center. A gift from alumni Greg and Cindy Page, this center promises real-world experiences as students begin careers in marketing. The center includes a specially designed conference room for focus group research. An adjacent lab offers real-time access to software and data for marketing decisions. The Page Family Marketing Center, your next step in marketing.
Earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through online lectures and condensed on-campus laboratories.
It's convenient, it's flexible, and it's a quality education.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
There's a place where American Indian culture is celebrated, where helping others is a priority and encouragement is abundant. At American Indian Student Services, our goal is retention and graduation of American Indian students. The American Indian Center is a home away from home where students can find state-of-the-art technology and a friendly face willing to help. Contact American Indian Student Services at 1-800-CALL-UND.
No matter what your schedule, no matter when you work, no matter what job you have now, this is your opportunity to accomplish your goals. Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota can work around your busy schedule. Bachelor and master's degrees are earned through convenient, flexible, and high-quality classes. Complete degrees are available online through correspondence study and on weekends and evenings. Earn a degree on your terms with Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota.
Designing a floral arrangement can be full of choices. There are long-stemmed or short-stemmed flowers and different types of fillers. Florist Sandy Nelson is here to give a lesson on the basic steps to creating an arrangement at home of your own. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
And you work at a place called Wise Floral. I'm sure you get a lot of people coming in with questions about how they can make their own. Where do you begin if you have no idea?
Well, you begin with, of course, flowers. You need flowers. So if you are not going to a florist and getting flowers, and you have a great garden with lots of wonderful flowers in it, you can start there.
Okay. And what do you use from your garden at home?
You can use anything from your garden at home. You can start with, if you want to do a color coordinated thing or just an assortment of things, you can start with anything you want. What you'd start with, what you very first need is some tools and a nice clean vase.
Okay, and now what types of flower arrangements are there? We have a lot of really pretty ones around us.
Yep, there's 5 basic elements of design. Your basic one is the symmetrical triangle, which is just a basic triangular form, shape. That's what everything's in 3s. And you can just start there if you want to. This is, if you're just doing a vase, you can also do the triangle in a vase, and that's basically what you'd first learn.
Okay.
The design.
And now there's 4 other types. What are they?
There's an asymmetrical design, there's a vertical, a horizontal, and a circular design.
And those are pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory, yes.
Okay. And now, does it matter where the greens and the flowers go?
Yep, you want to start with your greens. That's your base of your flower arrangement. And so we have this vase here, and we've started our greens. And then you want to start with your tall flowers first. If you have some nice iris, is a great garden variety, and you always have your iris. You start at the top. So you're going to just kind of make your design. And usually, as you can see here, this is a very good grid. Some people do like to use tape, but I find that your greens are a perfect grid. If you're not going to use greens or you don't have any greens for your floral arrangement, then you can, then you can just, you can use tape or you can just kind of balance your flowers in there. But this seems to be just a fantastic grid for it.
And what about the vases? There's a lot of different types of those. Does it matter whether they're tall or short flowers?
Nope, your vases, general rule of thumb is that you want to make your flowers about 1.5 to 2 times the size of your vase.
Okay.
So that's why we've got a vase here, and we're kind of going a little higher because you have kind of a little bit of a higher vase.
Now you just put 2 of the same flowers in. Are there flowers that shouldn't go with?
It's kind of up to you. It's really what you like, what you desire. If you really want to be correct about it, I would get a color wheel and do different colors of the different sides of color wheel. We do have a color wheel in our shop that we do go to every once in a while and say, okay, does this go together? But it's really kind of, you know what pleases your eye.
Okay, and there's a lot of different types of accents, and I don't know.
Fillers. Fillers. There you go.
How do you?
Lots of fillers. You can do anything you want. You can, like I said, colors, textures, anything you really want to do is kind of, floral designing is really up to you, and it's really a lot of practice and a lot of just trying to figure out what you want and what looks pleasing to you.
Okay, now how did you pick out what you're designing right now? How did you decide to do that?
I guess I've just done it so long, I kind of know exactly what I want to do. I don't really plan. Some people do plan a design and just say, okay, I'm going to plan this and this is what it's going to be. I kind of just do it and it comes together for me.
Okay. Now, what if you start an arrangement and you don't like the way it looks? What should you do?
You can either pull certain things out if you'd like, or occasionally I just start all over.
Okay.
So. Also, when you're doing a flower arrangement, what you want to do when you're cutting it is cut it at an angle. And you want to get it in water as soon as you possibly can, because once you cut the stem of a flower, it starts to suck up air, and that takes away from the life of the flower, which is why you should cut underwater, but it's not always possible.
Does it live longer than when it's cut at an angle?
It's supposed to keep it open, and the bacteria is harder to get into it.
Okay, and then what are the other ways that you can help keep your flowers fresh?
Keep the foliage away. When you're arranging, you want to take all the foliage off so there's no foliage in the water. That will cause bacteria and really affect your flower arrangement.
Okay. Now, how can you draw attention to a flower arrangement?
You can do lots of things. You can incorporate lots of things. You can incorporate, we've got all kinds of tools you can do. You can put butterflies in them. You can put bugs. You can put, if somebody likes a certain thing, say somebody's got a collection of some sort, you can put a little piece of their collection in it. You can do anything. You can make it your own any way you want.
All right. And I know you have a couple butterflies over there and stuff too. So what is, I guess, how do you, like specific places in the house, how do you go about that?
What you want to do, like say I'm making this for my table.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a centerpiece, centerpieces are usually low and long, because then you don't want to talk over it. You certainly don't want to be sitting across the table from somebody like this and trying to talk to them when you got a flower right in your face. So you want to do low and long. If you're doing something more dramatic, like we have over here is a vertical one that's a little more dramatic, a little higher, that would be probably a side piece or maybe on a mantle somewhere where you just really want somebody to go, wow, look at that. You know, and you really can just do whatever you want. It's a lot of your own little personal touch.
Does the same concept apply to artificial flowers as well?
Yes. Yeah. Artificial flowers are exactly like this. They just don't die.
All right. Are there any other tips that you could give us today about building our own bouquets?
Yes, the very best tip I can give you is that if it's something that you really want to do and you're really interested in doing it, practice. You'll be really slow when you first start, but the more you practice, the better off you are. And call your local florist. If you have a question, we are always happy to help.
Okay, well thank you very much. You have a lot of beautiful designs, and thank you very much for being here
Thanks
today.
for having me.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
When you graduate from college, what will you be able to offer an employer?
Well, I love working with people.
I'm a people person.
I consider myself to be highly motivated.
I'm a real self-starter.
Offer an employer something more. At the University of North Dakota Career Services Center, we can help you get the competitive edge you need. Stop in or check us out, UND Career Services, empowering students to realize their dreams.
I can offer you much more than just good people skills.
You're hired. Remember the friendships, the school pride, the hair? Stay connected to your college years through the University of North Dakota Alumni Association. Participate in homecoming events, class reunions, or career networking opportunities. Create new memories and relive some of the old ones. Check out how you can stay connected to your alma mater through the UND Alumni Association. Become a leader in healthcare with a graduate degree from the University of North Dakota. The Graduate School at UND offers degree programs and advanced practice certificate programs in the allied health professions and nursing. Our faculty give you the individual attention you need to help you attain your career goals. Distance programs for practicing professionals allow you to pursue graduate studies without interrupting your career. Contact the UND Graduate School today.
Miss, come on. My tuition. It is very cute, very cuddly. I can give you 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Bad idea.
How about 3 for 1?
That's a really bad business idea.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND offers students exceptional learning opportunities. Undergraduates are helping faculty design and build unmanned aerial vehicles to test remote imaging devices. They're also converting wind energy into hydrogen. Geological science students are contributing to environmental research. Extracurricular activities include designing, building, and racing a fuel cell car. Make the most of your college experience at UND's School of Engineering and Mines.
Tune in next week on Studio One. Police arrest people suspected of crimes and judges or juries decide their fate. But that's not the end of the story. Next week we explore a day in the life of a corrections officer. Plus we'll have other news and entertainment stories for you.
We're going to leave you now with Autumn Pictures, courtesy of photographer Stephen Doyle. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.